Hello everyone and welcome back to my official YouTube channel. I hope all of you are safe and healthy. The video that I'll be sharing with you today is the 1988 PBA All-Filipino game between the Great Taste Instant Milk versus the Alaska Milkmen. I hope you'll enjoy this game.
By Nick, 3 points!
If Pure Foods can come up with it.
Trying to drop it up to Alan Kaydick, almost lost but saved. Here's Sonny Cabatu. He goes up against Yo-Yo Villamin.
That was good passing plays there made by Great Taste, especially in the part of Abe King. He looked for the open man. This time, however, Abe came off with a poor defensive stance there, allowed Ricky Relosa to go through the baseline. And eventually, Ricky scored and a chance for a three-point play on the first personal foul of Philip Cesar.
Going back to that Sunday slaughter here at the Ultra, Dr. J, I guess not even the most rabid Añejo critic expected that the Rum Masters would be slaughtered in that fashion.
Well, there are many games like that for every team. You know, that happens to every team. The other team plays much better than you, and you also play on a very poor night. So that happens to every team, and the people, you know, the people on that team just really have to expect that it does happen to a team. You have to give it to Alaska for coming up with a good game and sustaining it throughout the night.
Well, right now, Abe King just missed from 18, and Terry Saldana scrambles for the loose ball. We're 45 seconds into the basketball game. It's 3-2. They're still in the backcourt.
They have 2 seconds to cross the line.
Marty Saldana finally went past the 10-second line. Relosa trying to work it right back to Marty Saldana. Well, they should have lost it right in the backcourt.
They were about a half a second late coming in, but the referees were not paying attention to the 15-second shot clock, the shot clock as they entered in from the backcourt into the front court.
Here's Allen. Swiss shuttle drive inside heavy traffic is no good. Battle for the rebound. Philip Cesar almost prevails, but Yo-Yo Villamin plants his claws last on the lever. Here he comes. That's going to count.
Well, Yo-Yo realized that Pai Cristobal was going to foul him on a 3-on-1 situation. He baited for the foul, got good balance upstairs, and then came up with the shot. So he has another opportunity for the team for another 3-point play.
Right now the score stands at 5-2. Alaska off to a rousing start. Make that 6-2. A minute and 20 seconds gone by in the ball game. Well, we have only about 3,000 people on hand here at the Ultra right now, but you can expect that number to double. Probably even more by the time we move to the second half.
Tight double teaming there forces another error on the part of Philip Cesar, and Yo-Yo is away again.
Fast break in the works, and a clean conversion against Abe King. A 6-point lead now for the Alaska Milkmen. Kaydick against Willie Pearson. Here's Allen inside the paint. That guy has really developed that drive inside after his outside artillery had sort of gone sour in this conference.
Yes, 4 points of the Great Taste team coming on 2 assists given by Abe King. First to Sonny Cabatu and this one to Alan Kaydick on a drive-in play. Yo-Yo working on the quarter court trying to get his teammates come up with some movement. Cabatu almost comes up with a steal.
He did, but it fell into the wrong hands, and here comes Yo-Yo getting the assist from his bruised brother.
It's an opportunity for the Blue Shirts to go on a fast break. Pai Cristobal takes advantage of it.
Well, he was dropping it off to somebody who was non-existent.
So that's a wasted opportunity. They had a good man advantage in the fast break play, and they did not capitalize in that last play.
As a result of which, they're still laboring under a 4-point handicap, and here's Terry Saldana looking to make it a 6-point advantage anew for Alaska.
So Terry Saldana showing us some of the stuff that he was made of, especially when he played for the Gilby's team, no, at that time. And the fact that he worked very well underneath the basket could be a big help to the Alaska squad.
Well, at this point, we would say that Terry Saldana must be about 70% of his old self, and there's a foul on that drive by Allen.
What he doesn't have, Joe, I think about 10, 12 feet.
Remember, it was you who told me about 4 years ago, Dr. J, that at that time, anyway, Terry Saldana had the highest vertical leap among the professional performers.
That's right. And if you remember, also at that point, Terry Saldana once won the most improved player of the league. No?
Yes, sir.
He was going great guns until that terrible accident to them. And fortunately for him, Alaska took a gamble, took him into their squad and hopes that he can recuperate in the next, well, in the next few weeks, in the conference coming, or even next year.
Well, right now, he looks none the worse for wear. And there's Willie Pearson off. Tremendous ball movement by the Alaska Milkmen.
What I like about Alaska, even in the first conference, they showed a lot of good passes, especially from guys that you don't expect, like Ricky Rolosa and Yoyo Villamin, who work on the quarter court and pass incoming from cutters coming from the quick side. And there's a good shot there for Alan Kaidik off the glass on top of the key.
Well, he's probably telling everybody that just because he keeps making those daredevil drives doesn't mean he's already lost his outside touch. Here comes Marty Saldana. Oh boy, that's a 70-footer.
That's right. There was a gamble there by Kaidik to double team inside, and that allowed Marty Saldana the quick snapshot. He made it. Cut in the play by Philip Cesar. Couldn't control the ball, but Great Taste will keep possession of the ball with 15 seconds left on their shot clock.
And 8 minutes and 11 seconds left in the first quarter. Well, Marty Saldana and Daning Valenciano conspired, as you will all recall, last Sunday to bag the first ever Philip Sardines Rainbow Team Shootout title against Añejo.
Remember, Alaska drew the bye, and that's the reason why they drew the bye. They were the best team.
Yes, indeed.
They drew the bye because of a good toss, I think, of the coin. No? But eventually they proved that they deserved the bye and went on to win the championship. Of course, we will have the individual shootout next Sunday.
And that should be even more exciting. Another case of miscommunication on the Great Taste side of the floor.
Well, really, at that point, Cristobal was not at a very good angle to get a pass to Abe King, so Abe decided to cut inside, and the movements just came in at the wrong time.
Ricky Relosa against the spread eagle Philip Cesar. Marty Saldana, 25-foot shot on the way. Bullseye! And he's proving his worth as one of the shootingest rainbow hitters in the league.
If you notice, the rainbow shooters, the contestants are mostly guards. No? Saldana, we have Kabahuk, who plays a big guard situation.
Ricky Marata
is a point guard, and of course Leo Austria is also a point guard.
We'll explain that at length right after this timeout. Some movement is scored, but just a few seconds back. It's now 19-12 in favor of Alaska. Relosa against Philip Cesar. Here comes Relosa, banging bodies with Philip, leaving his boost father open for the jump shot in vain. Then he's about 2-1. He's on the hard court for the first time. Here's Alan Kaidik going up against a triple team. And this is going to be a piece of cake for Ricky.
Yes, he took his time in the last play. Well, during that timeout, Joe, Dennis Abatuan came into the ball game for by Cristobal. So realizing this, look at the lineup that Great Taste right now has. They really don't have a legitimate point guard, and Philip has to play that role for the team right now.
Well, it comes a fine opportunity for Philip to display his vaunted versatility, although it doesn't really speak very well of the balance of David Alupan's lineup right now. Fouled by Alan Kaidik.
They're still playing with 10-man lineup. We just saw Harencio come into the ball game in civilian clothes. So they have 10 healthy men on the court for Great Taste. While Alaska playing complete lineup at this point. They have a 9-point lead.
Willie Pearson in and out. 21-12, 9-point lead for Alaska as we approach the halfway point of the first quarter. Dennis up 2-1 against Ricky Relosa. Good cut inside by Abe King. He fails off the glass. And Yoyo Vilimin had the inside track on the rebound. Here comes Marty Saldana in open court. Ricky Relosa tries to work it back inside and finally decided it would be hazardous. So he wound up in a held ball with Philip.
Referees, however, deemed it a foul called on Philip Cesar.
Oh, is it a foul?
Yes, referee Cordero made the call, and that will mean 2 free throws now for Ricky Relosa. Second personal foul of Philip Cesar. 4th team foul called against Great Taste. Only 1 for Alaska.
Ricky Relosa looking for his 6th marker. Yeah, this guy, enormously muscular as he is also an extremely lovable character. 22-12, a double-digit spread now for the Alaskans. 5:53 to go. First quarter. Here's Dennis Abatuan. Philip Cesar aims from the three-point region. Bullseye.
Cesar, 3 points. Well, Philip was also a participant in the Rainbow Shootout. Had some practice. And Philip is pretty accurate from that territory. During a game, he takes very few shots. And they usually give it to him, but he is pretty accurate from that territory.
That's right. And how they would have fared, he in partnership with Alan Kaidik, in that aborted rainbow shootout with
Añejo.
with the Loizaga brothers, that's right, is now in the realm of speculation. We'll never really know.
Yes, we will never know. Although Alan certainly could have been a big factor there.
Cabatu against Villamin. Alan Kaideke. Willie Pearson fighting the screws on Alan. They can't get over the low post. Philip says that was amply covered, forcing them to an outside shot. Here's Sonny Cabatu asserting might and main of the offensive board. Is going to go for three.
It's a blessing in disguise there for great taste, the miss of Abe King. Both Philip and Cabatu were underneath the basket, challenging only Villamin. They got the offensive rebound and a possible three-point play now for Sonny Cabatu.
First personal on Villamin. The second team foul for Alaska against 4 for Great Bay. Sonny Cabatu averaging 7 points per game. But his better stat is in the rebounding department where he is in double figures.
Well, right there, he has an offensive rebound and another chance for an offensive rebound. So they'll have a held ball between Ricky Relosa and Sonny Cabatu.
Wow. Well, Sonny Cabatu is certainly making Ricky Relosa earn his keep tonight, tending the boards.
If you look at them right now in the circle, you will see that Cabatu is about an inch and a half taller than Ricky Relosa. Jumping a little bit too soon, but none of the players touch it, so it'll be a re-jump.
That's right. Okay, this time Ricky Relosa outsmarts him. Martin Saldana. They're going to have to settle to a half court. The Great Bay's defense is falling into place. Here's Joyo Villamin. Saldana against Alan Kaideke. He goes to position, top of the key, attached short. Ball getting away from Abe King into the hands of Villamin. Good swipe from behind by Sonny Cabatu, but kept alive by Marty Saldana. His second try from outside is likewise unsuccessful.
Game started off very well for the shooting from the outside and also penetration. Slacking down a little bit on the part of both teams.
Abe King against Ricky Relosa. Three-point shot, Alan Kaideke. Bullseye!
If you notice that play, you can see he took off from the outside and landed about 4 feet away from that white line. So he used the momentum, and that allowed him that three-point shot in that play.
As good a time as any for us to explain that as long as the shot is unforced from the outside, the player may land inside the two-point zone.
That's right, partner. There was a traveling violation there called against Willie Pearson, so an opportunity now for Great Bay to equalize on this offensive play.
Just a two-point lead now for Alaska. A chance for Great Bay indeed to equalize.
But they're really suffering from a ball distributor at this point. You realize that with the play of Great Bay. Most of the points coming either from the outside shooting of Kaideke or the penetrations and follow-up shots of guys like Cabatu, Philip Cesar, and Abe King.
You know, as in life, a team doesn't know what it has until it loses it. Perhaps Great Bay never realized the true value of Bernie Fabiosa until they lost him to that injury.
And then you have, that was compounded by the fact that Harencio also went off to an injury and you just lost all the small men that can really help. Kaideke tying the ball game with another cut in play using the glass, and the count is now 22-all.
Big uphill climb successfully staged by Great Bay. That was a 10-0 blast, Dr. J.
Well, it's good for us to keep tab of these things because teams in basketball usually play by spurts. There is Willie Pearson with a clutch shot, relieving the pressure away from the Alaska Milkmen in that last shot.
And making his teammates remember that they can still shoot baskets. Abatuan harassed by Terry Saldana. Abatuan gets it over to Abe King.
Ooh.
A steal by Willie Pearson. It's 2 against 1. Abe King trying to keep pace. Here comes Marty Saldana. Abe King with a gallant stand, but it was futile.
26-22 is the count, Joe. We have a 4-point lead being enjoyed by Alaska. We have 2 minutes and 59 seconds left here in the first quarter.
It's Alaska versus Great Bay in our curtain raiser, and in our main event, another explosive encounter between San Miguel Beer and the Pure Food Hot Dogs as we glide into another timeout.
Timeout, Alaska.
All right, the Alaska Milkmen seem to have recollected their bearings, and they're now up by 6, 28-22, after another sizzling edgy footer by Willie Pearson.
Yes, so it's a 6-0 blast by Alaska, Joe, after Great Bay had tied the ball game at 22-all.
Arnie Twadles trying to inaugurate his presence in the ball game, and he successfully comes through with a 20-footer. It's 28-24, a futile dive to keep the ball alive by, who is this?
Alan
Kaideke.
Well, you know, for Great Bay, Joe, we said the possibilities mathematically is still there, no? Also, the another thing that they can look forward to in the next 4 games is the fact that they still have a good chance of playing for third and fourth spot. And there's a bonus thing to that because the team that ends up third will be able to play in the IBA series. No?
That's right. The IBA will be staged on September 18th up to the 25th, and it will feature 2 foreign teams, 1 Australian and 1 American All-Star squad. 28-24, a minute and 52 to go. We're still in the first quarter. Ricky Velosa to his Bruce Butler, and Yo-Yo drives. Gangway says he. Dennis Abatuan falls to the floor. We need a mop man.
Last touch called on Sanay Kabatu in that play. A 4-point lead being enjoyed by Alaska. A minute and 44 left in the first quarter. Kicking violation there called against Sanay Kabatu.
Well, he probably has illusions of being on his Jekyll side of him, a Diego Maradona or a Pele.
Or maybe a goalie.
A goalie, yes.
He would be a good goalie, you know, have to be pretty wide.
Exactly.
You know, a good goalie partner who turned out to be a basketball player was Akim Olajuwon, who never touched a basketball, and you know, when he was still in his country, and he played goalie for his team in Laos, Nigeria.
My goodness, he doesn't even have to move a muscle. His span of 7 feet 4 inches vertically is really something else.
3 points.
Another 3-point bomb by Alan Kaidik.
That's his second 3-point shot, and we still have a 3-point lead being enjoyed by Alaska with a minute and 13. I'm calling ball game so far in the first quarter.
37, or rather 30-27. Another fine assist to Willie Pearson, compliments of Yo-Yo Villamin. Pearson is enjoying one hell of a conference. Kaidik against Willie. Inside, the turnaround by Arnie. Kept alive by Sanay Kabatu again.
Good push there by Kabatu, getting Yo-Yo Villamin out of the way, and an easy follow-up for Sanay Kabatu, who is extremely offensive-minded here in the first quarter.
Oh, yes. He came here not only to play, but to really turn in points. 32-29, just a 3-point lead. Steal by Dennis Abatuan. And here comes the fast break, and it works. Badly handled by Alan Kaidik. Saldana against Abatuan. And Abatuan readily yields the foul.
Foul, Abatuan.
With 20 seconds to go, the 3-point lead from Alaska, and Dennis goes out for Mike Cristobal.
Nobody's in team foul trouble. Great Lakes with only 5 team fouls. Alaska playing good defense, limiting.
And Adidas is the official outfitter of the PBA. Just thought you'd like to know. That was 20,000 smackaroos that Philip Sardines awarded to the tandem of Marty Saldana and Naning Valenciano only 2 nights ago.
So 10,000 feet a piece, no? For how many nights work?
Well, you and I, Dr. J, we can spend that in 1 night. But we'll have to work for it for about 20 nights. All right, Saldana looks at the clock. 1 second. Hey, wow. Oh, that was a very close game. And we are ready for the second quarter. Second quarter action now in progress. 39, or rather 29-34. 5-point lead for Alaska. The fall away by Naning Valenciano gives Alaska a fresh 7-point margin.
Valenciano came into the ball game for Willie Pearson. We have Franklin in for Marcus Saldana. And another new player, Lolor, who was the most valuable player of the game just a couple of nights ago. While Atoy Ko and Noni Robles coming into the ball game for Great Lakes.
Well, Mike Cristobal is showing Valenciano and Saldana they don't have a monopoly on those 3-point bombs. It's 36-31. A clean steal by Mike Cristobal. Here's Arnie Cutler. He's up, and he goes to Atoy.
2-on-1 situation. And a good pass there by Arnie Tuadles, drawing the defender to him and giving off a good drop pass for the easy layup.
And once again, the Great Cajuns and Milkmasters tugging at the coattails of the Alaska Milkmen. 36-33. Here's Yo-Yo Villamin. A good drop to Ponky. Good defensive posture by Mike Cristobal. Atoy Ko. Arnie against Ricky. Ball almost blocked out of his hands by Ponky Alilor. Yes, indeed. They lose it, but from nowhere comes Sanay Kabatu.
He hasn't perfected the scoop shot like in that play off the glass shot for Naning Valenciano. Easy 2 points. Sonny Cabato trying to do an Arnie Twadless in that last play, but just didn't have enough strength in the wrist for the ball to really get up into the air.
Well, his feet are back on Terafirma, and he is once again only too aware that his name is Sonny Cabato and not Arnie Twadless. That's Arnie Twadless.
That's the way he does it.
Good object lesson there for Sonny Cabato. Coming from the maestro himself, Arnie Twadless with 10 minutes to go before the halftime break. 38-35. Yo-Yo Villamin.
Yo-Yo Villamin has been having a field day passing off to his teammates working on the outside. Post play there for Alolor, power play against Cristobal, and the easy 2 points.
Actually, what is at stake here for Alaska Milk is a share of second place with San Miguel Beer if San Miguel Beer should go on to lose to Pure Foods tonight.
That's right. Even if San Miguel can come up with a victory, down in they'll be just a game behind with 3 games to go for both squads. You know?
That's right. Jump shot on the run. Noni Robles getting into the scoring act, 40-37.
Let's not forget, too, that these two teams played for the championship last year in the All-Filipino tournament. Both of them are fighting for survival right now. And eventually, Great Taste won that championship series last year, 3-0.
Hey. That was Ricky Relosa taking a look at Yo-Yo Villamin. See, I can do that, too. A double team plant on Atoico. Arnie Twadless, picked up by Naning Valenciano. By Cristobal in the 3-point region, confronted by Ricky Velosa. Atoico has Ponky Lalor to contend with. Snap shot by Arnie. Air ball into the hands of Yo-Yo Villamin. And once again, I don't think this fast break will materialize.
Palming the ball called against Alejo Alalor in that play as the Blues quickly came back in defense.
That's right, and Noni Lopez only stood his ground. 42-37, 8:50 to go in the first half.
We have Politico coming into the ball game, Joe, for Yo-Yo Villamin on the part of Alaska.
And for Great Taste, Baby Dalupan responds by sending in surprise rookie Joel Santos.
Coming in for Sonny Cabato. Played a good game tonight up to this point. Kept his cool too.
That's right. Except for that last time when he missed the finger roll and thought he had been fouled. And then he always thinks he is fouled. Here's Ricky Delosa. Noni Robles. Oh, he suddenly changed his mind in midair. That foul is going to be called on Ponky.
It was good presence of mind there on the part of Twadless because that pass of Robles was really unexpected. Twadless had to scamper for the ball and then suddenly decided to drive in. 4 points for Arnie Twadless, who came in just a couple of minutes ago.
You know, speculation is rife about some player movements when Dante Silverio does take the helm of the Shell squad in the fair conference Saturday. And one of the rumors being booted about is that Arnie Twadless just might change teams if Dante Silverio starts coaching Shell.
It's possible. He played under him when he started off in the PBA. Was named Rookie of the Year, was a member of the Mythical Five. However, you have to ask Great Taste too because the contract is live. They want to give him up.
Of course.
He's also a great player for them, and there are a lot of possibilities in the third conference for Great Taste, depending again on the two imports.
Foul, Robles.
Well, for one thing, Arnie Twadless' contract does not expire until the end of the season.
I think so, yes. So, you know, that would be up to them, to the management, if they want to give him up or they want to continue. They want him to continue playing. He has no choice.
A great pass to Naning Valenciano from Ricky Relosa. 44-39, just a 5-point lead for Alaska. By Cristobal. Slowly bringing the ball downtown. Atoico has it against Ponky Lalor. Arnie Twadless working off where he made his living for many, many years, and that's at low post. Ricky Relosa.
Foul, Valenciano.
Well, that was Naning Valenciano who committed his first personal. One more time on the block for Great Taste. There's a good cross-court pass to Noni Robles. He goes up against Frankie.
He has the advantage in height over Frankie Lynn, maybe about 2 inches. Had to bend his body a little bit to make the shot. He's got 4 points in the ball game right now.
And just a 3-point deficit now for Great Taste. A case of miscommunication this time on the Alaska side of the floor.
Robles really stuck close to Naning Valenciano in that play, forcing him to lose his balance and not be able to receive the pass on a cut-in play.
3-point shot, Arnie Twadless. No, that's not exactly his strongest suit. Frankie Lim in open court, gets it over to Ponky. Ponky right down the middle. Running rough shot over Arnie Twadless, 46-41.
That's a good individual play on the part of Alejo Alalor. A foul there called against, might be Valenciano.
Foul, Valenciano.
You're absolutely right. His second personal and the 13th foul for Alaska. Great Taste has only one. Atoiko with a fall away. Yes.
Very sharp shot there. Angled shot on the part of Atoiko, but he felt he had it. Ricky Relosa coming off with a spin there, and another power play. Alaska making a lot of the points on inside spin.
Tremendous mental presence there on the part of Ricky Relosa, regaining his wits after almost losing the ball. But Atoiko connects from the three-point region. Looks like Ato is unraveling all the weapons in his arsenal tonight.
Yes, 5 straight points for Atoiko. Ricky Relosa has yet to miss from the field in this ball game. He's done very well on percentage shooting. Last touch called against Alolor in that play.
Good defense played by Arnie Tuanles on Ricky Relosa. Forced an error. And Philip Cesar is showing up in the ball game again. Mike Cristobal is relieved.
Philip Cesar adds a lot more height to the team. Also experience. Noni Robles having some problems because of the sticky guarding of Frankie Lim. Atoiko working hard, gives off a good trap pass. But Joel just didn't know what to do with it.
Well, Joel was a bit too unwieldy to handle that kind of a situation. Alolor with a snapshot. Southpaw attempt is no good. It goes off the floor. It's going to be a tip-off.
Between Naning Valenciano and Atoiko in that play.
We're approaching the halfway point of the second quarter. 6 minutes and 20 to go. Well, tonight I have the pleasure of working with Dr. J. In case you didn't know, in case you don't recognize his voice, he's got a touch of laryngitis and a little bit of tonsillitis. And I'd like to ask our viewers to send in their comments as to whether they prefer Dr. J's voice to be that way or his old voice. Because if you prefer it that way, then we will insist on keeping his larynx permanently on ice.
2-point lead being enjoyed by Alaska. Great Taste always seems to be able to come back here in the first half of play. Yoyo Villamin coming into the ball game this time for Ricky Relosa.
Atoiko is burning and Ponke Alolor knows it only too well. There he goes. And this time, successful defensive cordon put around him by Alaska. Frankie Lim goes to Yoyoy. Yoyoy goes against Arnie. A tap out. Whose last touch was it?
They called it against Great Taste, so Alaska will keep possession of the ball.
Will be done. Here, we're in such a great hurry to get here with the Ultra, they didn't bother to change from their Rockers uniforms to a fresh set of clothes. 3-point shot, Frankie Lim. Naning Valenciano, 15-footer, good.
Being at the right place at the right time allowed Naning Valenciano an offensive rebound and the easy follow-up shot. A 4-point lead being enjoyed by Alaska. We have Alolor being replaced by Lazaro. Lazaro seeing action for the first time and a jumper there by Arnie Tuadles. Just really have to really stick very close to this guy because he has a lot of versatility in his shots. He can hit it from the outside, he can drive in, he can post up.
Oh, he has more moves than Houdini.
Warning on
Right.
Great Taste instant milk for delaying the game.
A warning on Great Taste for delaying the game. And the guy who ends on it is the tallest player in the league, Dong Politico, standing all of 6 feet 7 inches. Frankie Lim goes to Ray Lazaro. Sugar Ray making his first appearance in a ball game and getting humiliated somewhat by Mike Cristobal, but Noni Robles.
Foul.
But foul is going to go against Robles. His second personal.
2 free throws there for Lazaro. And Joe, do you know why Politico is inbounding?
Yes, I would like to know.
That's the same thing that what NCC used to do, what San Miguel does in several plays. They either get the center or the power forward throwing in the ball to a point guard and then coming in and acting as a trailer, setting the pick for a play that has already materialized in the front court. And he's the last person coming in with a pick and then sliding in for a possible rebound on a jumper.
I remember how Norman Black used to do that so well in the first conference. Arnie Tuadles connects from 18.
Well, you use that a lot because foreign teams also, the NBA teams. The first team that I saw use that a lot was the Houston Rockets, and they used that because they had big men like Samson or Aloja Wong coming in and setting the pick, and at the same time they're sliding in. So if the jumper is missed, you still have a very great chance at a follow-up play.
Plus, of course, the fact that you can't keep the man shackled right off the bat.
Yes, another thing is there's going to be a deliberate foul call here somewhere. I don't know who again. Maybe again Atoy. A holding foul. And that'll mean 2 free throws
Deliberate foul. Go.
for the offended party who happened to be Lazaro.
No complaints from Atoy. He has a big smile on his face. A very Mona Lisa type of smile on his face. Then he shakes his head. Ray Lazaro taking the first of 2.
First foul on Atoy Ko, 13 foul called against Great
Robles.
Taste. Alaska's 4. Robles is now being replaced by Abatuan.
And Katie is the official basketball shoes of the PBA. 55-50, odd 5-point lead for Alaska. 4:40 in the balance for the first half. And look at Dennis Abatuan acting the role of orchestra conductor for the Instant Milk Masters. Swaddlers against Yoyoy. Here's Philip Cesar. He wanted a cutter, found it in Dennis Abatuan. Abatuan goes up against Yoyoy Villamin. He gets it right back. Joel Santos takes his crack at it.
Well, Abatuan fighting to keep the ball alive. That worked for them because they got the extra 2 points that they needed to cut down the lead to 3 right now. Yoyoy working on the outside. Goes to Lazaro, who bumped into Twadless and is called for traveling violation.
Lucky break here for the blue shirts.
He might be surprised because the reason why he stopped was he probably thought there was a foul. That's the reason why he lost possession of that ball. You see him come out of the play, take the step, forced to trouble because of a bump on the part of Twadless, but the call went against him in that play. He was really surprised.
And here's a fast break being flushed out by Alaska, anchored on Dong Polistico, who was not quite up to it, and a counter fast break being fashioned out by the blue shirts. Atoy looking for his compadre, can't get over to. Instead goes to Abatuan, he's underneath, and he is bludgeoned by Yoyoy.
Foul, Polistico.
It was Dong Polistico. I don't know if you would have double teamed there on Dennis Abatuan.
That was a good pump fake there by Dennis Abatuan to get Yoyoy Villamin and Polistico up into the air. Dennis playing against some of his former teammates. Well, not Polistico. He used to play for the Alaska squad. Makes his first free throw, and we have Kaidik coming back into the ball game for Atoy Ko.
55-53, the blue shirts are closing in. They're only a point behind. 55-54, 3:42 to play in the first half. 5 team fouls for Alaska, 3 for Great Taste. Ray Lazaro wants Arnie Twadless on a one-on-one basis. He goes to Naning Valenciano. The fall away is good. He has made a masterpiece of that kind of a shot.
Valenciano 6 out of 6 from the field here in the second quarter as a replacement for Willie Pearson, who played the whole of the first quarter.
2 top gunners alternating on the floor for Alaska. And here comes Philip Cesar, who shook off his man and got off his glass hit.
That was a great pass there by Arnie Twadless. Exact bounce pass. All he had to do was spin and take the shot. Lead again chopped down to only 1 point.
57-56, the exact figures posted on the scoreboard. 2:57 to play in the first semester. Valenciano gets a pick from Villamin. Frankie Lim with a sharp pass inside to Ray. Good destruction by Arnie Twadless. Kaidik in the front court for Great Taste. Twadless, beautiful hit to Philip Cesar.
Second assist pass of Arnie Twadless to Philip Cesar, and Great Taste grabs the lead by 1 at 58-57.
That's right, Great Taste. Only the second time they've led tonight. The last time was a 2-0 after they scored the first basket in this ball game. But Yoyoy Villamin quickly wrests back the lead for Alaska, 59-58. Dennis Abatuan is confronted by Naning Valenciano. Frankie Lim is right behind Alan Kaidik.
Post play there for Kaidik. He has an advantage in height and quickness. And Frankie Lim there showing good defense, making Alan Kaidik lose possession of the ball.
Very fine economy of motion displayed by Frankie Lim, but he succeeded, and we have a timeout. Naning Valenciano continues to display flawless touch from 18 and above. It's now back to a 3-point lead for Alaska, 61-58. A minute and 41 to go before we repair to the locker room for the halftime break. Another foul on the Great Bay side of the floor.
Foul, Valenciano.
Foul on Valenciano, 2 free throws for Abatuan. Funny with the percentage shooting of Alaska, they shot 64% in the first quarter compared to 46% for Great Taste. In this ball game, Joe, Valenciano and Ricky Relosa have yet to miss from the field in their attempts. Ricky has done 4 out of 4, and Valenciano has done 7 out of 7 in this ball game.
Could be that they didn't get that many shooting opportunities because they were ahead by only 2, 61-59. Ricky Relosa gets it over to Yoyoy. Frankie Lim, top of the key against Dennis Abatuan. Ricky Relosa, they can't find a breach in that cordon erected around the paint by the blue shirts. And Ricky Velosa is going to give call for the foul. His first personal in the rebound battle. Watch that again in slow-mo.
In the frustration of trying to recover a missed shot, Ricky Velosa gave up a foul over the back foul on Philip. That'll be the 17th foul now called against Alaska. With only a minute and 15 seconds left. Another foul, this time probably on Frankie Lim against Alan Kaidik in that play.
Penalty.
Second personal for Frankie Lim, and they're in penalty, so Alan Kaidik gets a pair of charities and an opportunity to pull abreast again.
Equalize.
That's right.
16 points for Alan Kaidik. 2 3-point shots in this ball game so far. Very deadly shooter from the free throw line.
Likewise from the three-point region. But then again, like I said,
You will never know.
we will never know. That entirely belongs to the realm of speculation. If they could have beaten the Loizaga brothers in that semifinal shootout.
You know, Alan personally has a lot of fans, and a lot of them were probably disappointed that he did not make the individual shootout, no? I mean, in the sense that he only has 13 points the first time around, no?
That's true, too. Well, the final cast, actually, for the individual shootout of Philip Sardines, as we watch Joey Valamin go to Naning Valenciano. Okay.
That's also
Won't
his
go.
first miss.
Rick Marata, Elmer Cabajo, Leo Austria. Okay, good catch by Ricky Velosa. Tremendous defensive stance by Philip Cesar, but Ray Lazaro won't be denied.
63-61 with 35 seconds left here in the second quarter. A 2-point lead being enjoyed by Alaska. I think the favored players in that individual shootout would be Marcus Saldana and probably Marata.
Well, for one thing, Rick Marata has the highest score.
Well, no, Marty has 22 points.
Oh, yes, that's right. I'm sorry.
21 points for Marata in one play. But, you know, that's anybody's ball game. 4 of them, they all have equal chances. Of course, these two, you must give them a little advantage. Good play there for Villamin. Only 4 seconds left.
And this first half is now finished, kaput, and we shall be ready for the second half in just a few minutes.
Well, halftime score is 65-63. You can see, nung first quarter po, na-dominate po ng Alaska yung game. They even led nung end ng first quarter na 34-29. You can see si Willie Pearson at saka si Naning Valenciano is doing a great job para masustain nila yung lamang. Pagdating po ng second quarter, syempre, andyan si Atoy ko, saka yung aming Royal Brothers, kung si Abby King at saka si Philip Cesar, na nakapag-match up well sa kanilang Bruce Brothers na si Ricky Relosa at si Yoyoy Villamin. So, magandang game po ito, and sama-sama nating panoorin ang second half.
He didn't see action at all in the first half.
Well, yes, opportunity there for Turing Valenzuela to use Ravanes now. There's a snapshot there by Pearson. You see, like we used to say, he gets Saldana in, Frankie Lim in, and sometimes B-Boy Ravanes as a point guard. Here, B-Boy is playing as the big guard position with Marty Saldana. And another three-point shot, but this time from Atoy Ko, who's having a great offensive evening again.
Again is absolutely right, because this is the third burning evening he has displayed as in this present conference.
Well, he won an MVP in the game against Pure Foods. That was a big upset on the part of Great Pace. He had 35 points that evening, and he was just really confident in that ball game.
It's 65 all, 11-19 to go in the third period at point-blank range. Wow, that was a bad miss by Willie Pearson, and we have an entanglement close to the midcourt line.
It shows how much Mike Cristobal knows the movements of Willie Pearson. They were teammates with the defunct Crispa Redmanizers, and I'm sure they have played a lot of scrimmages together and against each other. So definitely he knew the movement of Philip in that last play. Very tight pass there, but Abe King comes up with the offensive rebound, and Alan Kaidik down on the floor. Good presence of mind.
Tremendous aplomb by Alan Kaidik. Picking himself up, dusting himself up in the process, also dishing off a fine pass.
Another foul on Willie Pearson. This time that was his first, and the second team foul called against Alaska. Abe King with a big smile because he really threw a hard pass to Alan Kaidik, who was on the seat of his pants in that play.
Hey, this guy would make a great catcher with any National Baseball League team.
That's right.
Atoyko getting a pick from Abe. He gets access to the baseline, but runs right into Yoyo Villamin, who is terribly outsmarted in that bit of action.
5 straight points again for Atoyko. Great Taste has hit 5 out of 6 from the 3-point territory, and a miscue there on the part of B-Boy Rabanes. Great Taste running.
Philip Cesar goes cross court. Alan Kaidik, 3-point shot on the way. Bullseye!
He was
Kaidik,
waiting for that all
3
along,
points.
and Philip spotted him on the corner of his eye. Another birdie. Great Taste, big start here in the third quarter. It's a 8-0 blast on their part.
Fortunes have definitely gone against Alaska's aspirations for a share of that second spot as they prepare for the second phase of the semifinal round. 71-65, they're down by 6. Ricky Relosa realizes the desperate nature of the situation, and that was Vivo Rabanes, the golden scavenger, living up to his role to the hilt again.
Good offensive rebounding there in presence mine on the part of B-Boy Rabanes. 3-point shot by Atoyko. Yes, sir.
Ko, 3 points.
You know, Atoyko definitely is a man with a mission, Dr. J. He confided in us when we encountered him at Phases a few nights ago that he really wants to prove to all and sundry that he is not over the hill, as a lot of his critics would claim.
Well, he still has great legs. That allows him to come up with those kind of shots. Good defensive job there by Philip Cesar. A block, actually, and Philip is going to take it to Marte, but too much ball handling there causes him to lose the ball.
Well, the ball simply bounced off his big foot.
Still a 7-point lead being enjoyed by Great Taste. 9.5 minutes left here in the third quarter.
74-67 is the count. 9:27 to go. 2 team fouls for Alaska, 1 for Great Taste. Baseline drive. Villamin goes to Willie Pearson, who threads the needle.
So Philip with his second block in a
9
row.
seconds, shot clock.
That's the tapal of Volcasil displayed very arrogantly by Philip Cesar.
Referee stopping play here for a while. Probably giving a technical to Pearson in that play.
Technical foul, Pearson.
Well, the referees are really calling it very strictly. They don't want things to get out of hand. And so, Alan Kaidik, the designated hitter for Great Taste, is taking the technical foul shot, which he fails to convert.
Great shooter from the 15-foot line, a little bit long. We have Naning Valenciano, Turing Valenzuela reacting to Pearson there in the sense that he felt Pearson was losing his temper. So quickly, Naning Valenciano sent back into the ball game, and Pearson resting a little bit on the bench for a few moments.
Well, I was talking about Atoyko as a man with a mission earlier. The same goes probably too for Willie Pearson, who really has been burning the iron in the last several games of Alaska. And here comes Ricky Relosa beating the clock.
That was good play there by Ricky Relosa. Another baseball pitch there. Yoyo Villamin running interference and letting the ball go out.
74-69, still a 5-point lead for Great Taste. Abby King doing the honors from the baseline. Alan Kaidik.
Good pick provided by Philip Cesar. Just stepped in there. Provided the screen. Alan used it, and the man guarding Alan didn't follow him.
They made it look so simple, Dr. J.
That's right. It's simple if the defense doesn't react to it, you know. As long as you provide the screens. If the defense, like in that play, Ricky Relosa gave a good screen. By Cristobal was fighting it, and Ricky's going to be called for the offensive foul, holding on to the hands of By Cristobal.
Offensive foul, Relosa.
Ricky Relosa, that would be his second personal, and watch that very unorthodox pick set up by Ricky Relosa.
You know, when you set the pick, though, you're not supposed to move. You have to allow access for the defensive man to move around it, no? If he pushes you out of the way, the defensive man, then he's guilty of a foul. But if you turn your back towards the guy, you're taking away his space.
That's right. Well, he compounded it by even hanging onto the arm of his defender. Oh, a ball right between the legs of Yoyo Villamin.
There's going to be a foul on Valenciano. That pass of Philip Cesar reminded me of the Harlem Globetrotters that you covered, partner.
Valenciano.
Remember that? Those passes underneath the legs.
Well, I can only think of about 2 guys who can do that here in the PBA. Philip Cesar and possibly Sonny Jaworski. Cesar with a pull away, off the glass.
Alaska has to play tighter defense. They're allowing the inside game of Great Taste to get away with bloody murder. You would say there's Yoyoy with his favorite Hopalong Cassidy shot.
Hopalong Cassidy shot. Wow. That's a welcome addition to our basketball lexicon, Dr. J. 78-71. By Cristobal, nobody marked him, and they are paying the price.
Yes, you can see that the fighting of the picks are delayed on the part of the Alaska team. Pupils also paid the price there when they took Great Taste too much for comfort. There's going to be another offensive foul
Offensive foul,
called against Valenciano.
That's his
advantage.
fifth personal. No wonder he reacted that way, because it was clear that he had pushed off by Cristobal.
5 team fouls also called against Alaska, only one for Great Taste. Great Taste enjoying a 9-point lead here. Nobody marking Kaidik. He has a 3-point shot going for himself.
Kaidik, 3 points.
That's his 4th birdie of the evening and his 26th marker. Hey, this guy is on his way to a personal high, quite possibly a conference high if he stays with this kind of intensity. Naning Valenciano scrambling for the loose leather. Ricky Relosa has a piece of cake.
Good play there by Naning Valenciano, never giving up on his shot. He knew he was going to miss, but he followed the ball and got off a good assist pass to a fellow teammate.
Still a double-digit deficit, staring the Alaskans straight in the face. Mike Cristobal against Marty Saldana. And true to our prediction much earlier, we now have the crowd double that which was on hand at the start of this ball game. I would say about
Foul,
7,000 now.
Saldana.
Yes, I would say about 7,000.
Valenciano.
Valenciano forced to rest at this point. Lazaro coming into the ball game for him.
Everybody here at the Ultra is looking forward to another colossal confrontation between Pure Foods and San Miguel Beer. It's the best of 7 championship series for the Open Conference all over again.
Yes, partner. We have Kaidik fouled going up by Alolor, so he has an opportunity
Foul,
for a 3-point
Alolor.
play, trying to finish it off from the 15-foot line.
Dozen-point lead for Great Taste. Yes, Dr.
I was just going to say that, but in this All-Filipino Conference, Pure Food seems to have had the number of San Miguel. They have won all their contests, no?
But you have to remember that in all those contests they won, San Miguel was
never
playing,
complete.
Yes, with a depleted lineup. Well, tonight, I understand they are coming out in full force.
Including the fact that their coach is back, and ever since Norman has come back, they've won 2 in a row. There's going to be a foul called against Abe.
Foul, King.
Abe King with his first personal sends Yo-Yo to the line with 6:56 to go in the 3rd period. 85-73.
11 points for Yo-Yo in this ball game. Make that 12 right now.
One thing really working against the Alaska Milkmen is the fact that they are now in penalty while Great Taste still has 5 to spare.
Yes, that means Great Taste only has 2 fouls. They have come back strong with good outside shooting. Another good play there, but Cristobal just couldn't control the ball.
Marty Saldana completes the steal in open court. Ponke Lalor with Alan Kaidik running abreast. Marty Saldana gets a pick from Ponke Lalor. It was intended as a pick and roll, did not materialize. Saldana goes behind the pick. Here's Ricky Relosa challenging Abe King. And the ball is deflected by Abe. It stays in the backyard of Alaska.
They will have possession of the ball with 10 seconds left in their shot clock, but we have a timeout first.
Southpaw try by Ponke Lalor wound up as an air ball, and we have a foul.
Called against Atoy Ko in that play. Ricky Relosa will go to the 15-foot line
Foul,
for 2 free throws.
Go.
Only the first personal for Atoy. And it's an opportunity for Alaska to break through that double-digit barrier. 85-75 is the present tally. And we don't need the Comelec to confirm that either. 85-76.
Ricky Relosa has 15 points in this ball game tonight. Extremely offensive-minded, realizing that some of the key players that usually do the scoring are on the bench right now. That's Valenciano and Willie Pearson.
He was in that same frame of mind last Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. That Jay was really going to town.
Well, Ricky Relosa can really score. He can play good defense. He can rebound. There are a lot of things that you can expect from this young man. Good outlet pass there by Yo-Yo Villamin to Lazaro. One-on-one play, and he misses.
All right, we've got a turnover for Great Taste. We're a sheet past the halfway point of the 3rd period. Still an 8-point lead going for the Instant Milk Masters. No matter how small the flicker of hope, it's still a flicker, and Great Taste is still slugging it out. Mike Cristobal's attempt is thwarted by a foul from Marty. 3rd personal for Saldana.
2 free throws for Cristobal, whether
Foul,
it's in the act of shooting
Saldana.
or not, because the other team is in penalty. He'll go to the 15-foot line.
Incidentally, right after this ball game, we shall announce our choice for our Jollibee Best Player of the Game.
A lot of good performances on the part of both teams. Cristobal himself has been pretty steady, distributing, rebounding, defending. and contributing also.
Exactly. You can say that again. You can also count Kabatu in, except that he hasn't seen action since he was benched by Baby Dalupon sometime in the first half. He scored 8 quick points in the first quarter.
That's right. He gave them the stuff that they needed underneath the basket.
Ricky Velosa gives it over to his Bruce brother. But he has to contend with Abe King, the chairman of the boards. And Abe, that's right, he's the chairman of the boards.
10-point lead being enjoyed by Great Taste. 5 minutes and 22 seconds left here in the third quarter.
Atoy against Ray Lazaro. And Ray is not giving Atoy a bit of shooting room. But Atoy decides to make a go of it anyway, draws the foul.
Now that's what you call a heady play. Realizing that the other team is in penalty, he drives into the basket,
Foul,
hoping to
Lazaro.
fish for a foul, and he got it.
And that's the kind of savvy that only 13 or 14 years in the league can give you, right, Dr. J?
Yes, he has been there at the start of the league. A couple of players there. Philip Cesar. Well, the another player that has been there from the start of the league is Fabiosa on the squad of Great Taste, but he's not present tonight. Then we have Sonny Jaworsky, Ramon Fernandez.
That's right. You know, Milo has its magnificent 7, but the PBA also has its magnificent 7 in the persons of
Lazaro.
7 guys who are still there since the...
Abed Gidaben and Freddy Hubalde are the other two.
That's right.
So Crispa had 5 guys remaining, and Toyota had 2 guys remaining there from the start of the league.
And as long as those guys are around, you can never forget the Crispa and Toyota dynasties.
That's right.
89-77, 12-point lead now for Great Taste. 5 minutes to go, third period. Team Coloso. Ricky Velosa dances inside. Battle for the rebound, won by Cristobal. Oh, this fast break is not going to happen. 3 white shirts quick to fall back on defense. And the ball is knocked away. It'll stay in the backyard of Great Taste. Good catch by Alan Kaidik. Atoyko. Hot on his trail from behind. Marty Saldana commits another foul. That would be his 4th.
Foul, Saldana.
A lot of trouble on the part of Alaska. Some key players already in foul trouble. They are in penalty, and Great Taste has used that to great advantage here in the third quarter. Great Taste playing superior here in the third quarter.
It's now 90-77. The Bakers doesn't lead, and we can make that a 14-point lead, courtesy of Atoyko, who has just turned in his 19th marker of the evening.
You have to realize that Atoy didn't play the whole of the first quarter too, yeah? So some action in the second quarter, fielded here in the third, has really come on very strong.
Making up for lost ground.
That's right.
And here's Mike Cristobal going to Alan Kaidik. He pulls up from 25 feet. The shot! I thought it was
Kaidik,
distracted by
3
Pokey,
points.
but it still found its path to the goal, straight and true.
That's the 5th rainbow shot for Alan Kaidik. We have a couple coming from Atoy Ko. 3-point shot from Marty Saldana, his second of the ball game.
Saldana, 3 points.
And what we're witnessing right now is some kind of a variation of our Philip Sardines rainbow shootout.
We have the gunfight here at the Ultra.
Yes, sir. 4 minutes to go, third period. Atoyko with his own 3-pointer. Bullseye!
Yes, sir.
Ko, 3 points.
You know,
Oh.
he can really, you can really see it in Atoy's eyes. He's asking for possession. There is, by the way, the lovely wife of Atoy Ko, si Monet Ko.
Well, Monet doesn't seem to be affected at all by the sizzling performance of her husband. But then again, she's so used to this over 13 years.
There's going to be an offensive foul they're called against Lazaro, throwing his elbow.
Offensive foul, Alolo.
Oh, Alolor, I'm sorry.
Watch that
Saldana.
again.
Saldana is now being replaced, but we have a
Timeout,
timeout.
Alaska.
That was a flying carpet ride by Philip Cesar on the way to a 19-point lead for Great Taste with 3:27 to go in the third period. Here's Ricky Velosa. And Abe King tried to block from behind.
Abe King had a 2-handed umbrella block there. Got
Foul,
Ricky with his
King.
body. That'll mean 2 free throws for Ricky Velosa. There you can see he got into contact with Ricky, making him lose his balance upstairs, and that'll mean 2 free throws for Ricky.
And Ricky muffs the first attempt. You know, Great Taste seems to be making a statement in this third period, erecting this kind of a lead over the highly favored Alaska Milkmen. They seem to be telling everybody that they are not to be counted out yet. They still have a ghost of a chance of making it to the finals, and they intend to make full use of whatever that's worth.
That's very true, partner. You know, at the top of the coverage, we said so far they can still go for 11 wins to end the semifinals, and so far only one team has 11 wins, so they still have an outside chance at it. No?
Well, right now, they're riding high on a 17-point lead, and you can just make that another 19-point lead. Compliments of a fine baseline drive from by Cristobal.
One-on-one play, a good pirouette on the part of Cristobal. 19-point lead, 2 minutes and 56 seconds left. Pearson back in the ball game with Frankie Lim. Yoyo working on the outside. Good pick there, and Pearson should hit that one.
Willie Pearson coming through with his 14th marker of the evening. You know, with 2 minutes and 44 in the balance for this third period, Great Taste has already gone past the century mark, so they might be on the way to a scoring record if they maintain this blistering shooting pace. But that steal by Team Colossus is not going to help their cause one bit. Instead, Willie Pearson goes for the home run.
Back-to-back baskets by Willie Pearson. He has cooled down from where he was called for a technical foul earlier here in the third quarter. And now Great Taste trying to slow up the ball game a little bit.
101 to 86 are the exact figures, and here comes by Cristobal. 2 in a row by Cristobal, and there just doesn't seem to be any stopping this guy.
Foul, Villamin.
They've really been taking it strong to the hoop, you know, with the outside sniping of Kaidik and Ko helping out because of the fact that Alaska hit penalty early. Ko is now being replaced by Dennis Abatuan. He's talking there with his coach. Coach giving him a tap on the back for a fine performance here in the third quarter.
He's probably telling Baby, hey, coach, my hand is still burning. Can't you feel it?
Probably.
Okay, here's Mike Cristobal looking for his 11th point, and it's there.
Realizes that his team can control the ball game for the next 2 minutes or so. And then if it's necessary, then Atoy will be fresh coming into the ball game in the fourth quarter.
That's right. He's husbanding his resources, which have been greatly depleted by injuries to his 2-point guards. Snapshot, Willie Pearson, deflected. And Abe King asserting his role as chairman of the boards, but the outlet pass wasn't quite as elegant. Here comes Frankie. Villamin against Abe, distracted by the chairman. One more time on the block for Alaska.
3-point shot there by Frankie Lim, but miss, and Abatuan clears the defensive boards.
Okay, you've had your chances. Now it's our turn.
Kami naman.
Pinagbigyan na kayo. 104-86. A minute and 27 left in the third period. At low post, Philip Cesar looking for a cutter. Oh, an attempted cut by Dennis Abatuan draws a foul from Willie Pearson.
Did you see that pass of Philip Cesar between the legs again of Yoya with his back turn?
Foul, Pearson.
Foul on Willie Pearson. 2 free throws for Abatuan. Penalty situation.
Well, you can call Philip Cesar a squeeze player. He loves to go to weave his way into very tight spots. And Dennis connects with his first charity. It's
Velosa.
105-86. Holistico is checking in for Ricky Velosa.
Dennis Abatuan making his first free throw, upping the lead of Great Taste to 19 points right now. Could be 20, but he misses.
You know, what we're witnessing right now is a supreme irony of fortunes, which is probably existent only in basketball. Here's a counter pass break, and it works by... Oh, did you see that shuffle by Dennis Abatuan? Failed to get the bucket, though.
That was not a very good shot because he had 2 teammates coming out to help him on a 3-and-2 situation.
Earlier, I was talking about an irony. I was talking specifically about how Great Taste was so massacred by San Miguel Beer only 2 nights ago, but they come back strongly, and now they start to slaughter the very same team that also scored a little bighorn massacre with Añejo Rum.
Well, those are the fortunes of the game, you know. Great Taste
Foul,
realizing
Coloso.
its back is against the wall. Just really has to prove himself, and like like a great coach would say, Tito Duque once said, if you are the defending champions, defend it well. Go out in class and style.
Very properly said. And the Great Taste Instant Milk Master is, no matter how they fare in any tournament, will always be a class act with that kind of a cast.
They're really playing well in this third quarter. They're not only playing well offensively, their defense is really something else at this point.
Watch this.
Abe
Yoyo Villamin against Abe.
has really been controlling Yoyo in this play. The backing up, there he can afford to give up a foul, which he used.
And that was only their 5th team foul and only his 3rd personal.
Foul, King.
We're down to 33 seconds left in the third quarter. Enough time probably for 2 more plays, Joe.
You're absolutely right. Depending on how fast they play it. Yoyo Villamin has been held down to just 15 markers, and you're looking at his bruised brother sitting rather disconsolately on the bench. He must have a portent of disaster in his mind.
He's still there by Cristobal. But see, he doesn't challenge him.
No, they're going to work this off cerebrally. Philip Cesar confronted by Dong Polistico. Philip is trying to make up his mind whether he's going to make a go of it and try to assert his superior agility against Don Polistico. Instead, he goes to Abe.
Well, he called for that play. He was just like a playing coach on the court calling for that play.
A marvelous third quarter for Great Taste. We shall return the final chapter. 86.
23-point lead after spotting Alaska by 3 points at the end of the first half. So they took the third quarter by 26 points. They're out to go back in the ball game now for Abatuan. He got his rest. A little bit cold now as Ricky Relosa clears the defensive boards.
The Bruce brothers conniving beautifully for that defensive rebound. And here's Valenciano blocked by Cristobal with impunity.
Cristobal, great defensive gem. Two-point shot by Atoy Ko, a little bit long. And again, this time Robanes clears the defensive boards.
109-86. New movement on the scoreboard as we move to the last 11 minutes of this basketball game. Saldana confronted by Alan Kaidik. Yoyo Villamin has been held down to just 15 markers. Here comes Naning Valenciano. And the tentacles of Philip Cesar spread out to prevent the shot.
Foul, Cesar.
But he's called for the foul. That's his third.
2 free throws now for Valenciano. Turing Valenzuela made some adjustments by coming in with substitutions. He's going all out here. He goes with the Bruce brothers, Ricky Relosa, Yoy Villamin, Marty Saldana, Naning Valenciano, and V-Boy Robanes. Hoping to put a lot of hustle, press the opponents, try to make them take bad shots, and at the same time try to come up with possible steals and turnovers against the other team.
109-86. Pasang-awa pa yung pangalawang shot.
I was going to say the same word, partner, 75%. Anyway, look at the press being put on now by the Alaska Milkmen. They know they have to do that to be able to come back from a 22-point deficit.
And look at Mike Cristobal. Okay, a preemptive foul given up by
Foul, Saldana.
Marty Saldana.
I think that's his 5th, no? Or 4th?
That's his 4th.
That's his 4th.
Mike Cristobal.
Called for traveling in that play.
Good defensive posture shown us by Yoyo Villamin that time, but they're still laboring under a 22-point handicap. 109-87. 11 minutes to go in this ball game. Double team on Naning Valenciano, forced to dish out a very wayward pass.
Saldana.
Okay, hold it, fellas. How come Frankie Lim is checking in, Saldana is being relieved, and action is going on?
Well, what happened there was the referee gave the ball to Philip Cesar. Philip came up with a quick throw in, and then simultaneous to that, the scorer came up with the buzzer.
So too late to prevent the inbound pass. So one more time around the block for Great Taste. By Cristobal doing the honors.
Cristobal.
Robles checks in for By Cristobal, so there's been a change in the guard line for Great Taste.
That's right. You can see that Cristobal is huffing and puffing. Played the majority of the third quarter and played good defense all the way.
And he sizzled to the tune of 11 points in the third period alone.
Took advantage of his height over Frankie Lim. Came up with a 2-point and a 3-point play simultaneous in consecutive shots. No?
That's right. Philip Cesar, recipient of a pass from his compadre. He fails to knock it in off the glass. And here's a fast break in the works for Alaska, consummated splendidly by Naning.
Well, what happened there was Noni Robles and Atoyko were on the wings. Both of them are guards, and the other one should have been a safety guard.
In open court, Alan Kaidik goes down the middle, passes off to Abe, who comes through.
3-2 situation there. 22-point lead being enjoyed by Great Taste. 10 minutes and 21 seconds left. There's going to be a foul given up by Robles, who's been assigned to shadow Valenciano.
And no pun intended either.
Foul,
That's right,
Robles.
You know, the implications of an imminent loss here for Alaska could be very disastrous for them, because they now share third place with Añejo Ram at 9-7. A loss for them would give them fourth place with 9-8. Okay, two guys sprawled on the floor. Two of the biggest on the actually, Abe King and Yoyo Villamin.
Foul, Cesar.
Philip Cesar is called for the foul. Watch that again in slow-mo.
You can see Ricky Relosa picking up the loose ball. There's the foul by Philip, his 4th personal foul. Ricky makes the shot and has an opportunity for a 3-point play.
So many players there, felt like a stack of dominoes. And Ricky Relosa occupying the limelight. 111 to 91, still a 20-point deficit to overhaul, and Arnie Twadless sheds his jacket to relieve Alan Kaitik. And Twadless throws his jacket in the direction of Alan. Hey, I'm not your jacket's keeper.
Good thing if it was a towel, I can wipe the sweat off my bro. 18 points for Ricky Relosa, trying to go for 19. A good offensive night for him. But what's more important is for the team to be able to come back. They're down by 20 at this point.
Backward harassment by Yoy Villamin of the ball carrier, Philip Cesar. It may seem unlikely that a guy like Philip Cesar is handling that ball, but then you have to remember this guy is probably the finest example of a utility man in basketball.
Plays all positions.
That's right.
And plays them equally well.
That is the marvelous thing about Philip. Ricky Relosa setting up a pick for a three-point shot. Naning Valenciano is a tad short. Frankie Lim keeps it alive. Naning gets a second crack. Bullseye.
Yes,
Valenciano,
I think
3
that's the
points.
reason why maybe the Lupan reacted by putting Robles in to replace Cristobal. He wanted somebody who can really shadow Valenciano, as he expects Valenciano to keep on throwing up those three-point shots on the other side.
And here's Atoyko. I think he's got a three-point shot of his own in mind. Right now he can't get it off Naning Valenciano. Fall away by Noni Robles is in vain. And Yoy Villamin asserting might and main off the defensive board. Well, they have managed to trim down what once stood as a 22-point deficit to just 17. Make that 15.
14.
14. Yes, sir. That was a three-point shot.
Now you can see that the shoe is on the other foot. The other team is being rattled, trying to protect a big lead, while the other team is going all out for broke.
And you can see why Dr. J is so concerned with these big explosions of either side, because the ball game so far, fitness in this All-Filipino have been. And quickly, a guy who's so very fleeting action in the first quarter is harnessed back into action by Baby Dalupan. His name, Sonny Capatu, and he's giving Abi King a much-needed rest.
As Abe controlled the boards for great taste to allow them to come up with those fast break points and outside shooting in the third quarter. Atoyko working one-on-one, being challenged by two men. Alaska's defense now evolving in this fourth quarter.
Here's Atoyko. Oh, he can't thread the needle. Door was shot to his face by two bodies. Sonny Capatu taking a 20-footer. Now I've seen everything. All right, here's Noni Robles keeping the ball alive for the blue shirts. Sonny setting up a pick for Atoyko. Atoy makes his move inside the paint. He goes up. Yes, sir.
You wonder why he takes a left-handed shot, but Atoy really is left-handed naturally. He signs with his left hand. That's why he's an ambidextrous player.
That's right. He's just as deadly with his right, huh? Naning Valenciano with a snapshot. Another three-point attempt is no good. Ball falling right in the hands of Philip Cesar. Philip and Atoy. Atoy and Philip, you can interchange those names. They are also partners in business. They own the Ultra Automotive Spare Parts shop right along Show Boulevard. 113 to 97.
Good block there by Sonny Cabato against the driving B-Boy Rabanes.
Open court basketball now. Three-point shot. Atoy distracted, deflected, but Arnie Twadless goes to the rescue.
Turned out to be an assist for Atoy. Comes up with a big smile. There you can see the big crowd here coming up with a big howl.
And I think he's motioning to Joe Concepcion to credit him with one assist. Valenciano misses with his own triple attempt. A triple team on Philip Cesar, but he keeps his presence of mind. Oh, nobody's marking Arnie Twadless. Atoyko, turnaround. Robles is going to try again. Yes.
It's tenacity in the part there of Arnie. Was it Twadless or Robles?
Robles.
Ooh, great block by Philip.
That tapal Volcasil again by Philip Cesar.
Go.
117 to 97, 20-point lead as we watch that hair-raising piece of action. Philip Cesar ramming the ball down the throat of B-Boy Rabanes, but the ball stays in the backyard of Alaska.
If you were the teammates of Philip, you'd be very happy. There was an easy layup for an opponent, possibly a foul. Philip comes up with a clean block to prevent a layup.
Ponke Lelor against Arnie Twadless. Polistico has Sonny Cabato to contend with. Ponke Lelor right underneath. Again, the elongated wingspan of Philip Cesar coming into full view, but he is called for the foul. Fifth personal.
That's going to be his fifth personal. We have another timeout, Joe. We'll be back.
Milk.
Spirited battle for the leather, and Alan Kaidik just blew his opportunity for a home run. Couldn't control the leather, so it goes. 25-foot shot is on the way. Didn't find its goal.
They're going to the court of last resort quite early here. There's still a lot of time, 6 minutes and 32. Great Taste well in control of the ball game in the second half.
Arnie Duadles against Ricky Velosa. Sonny Capatu wants the ball. Robles fires. That was a two-point shot. And look at Don Polistico beating his own teammate to the rebound. Frankie Lim. Naning Valenciano. Three-point shot. Well, no soap. And Sonny Capatu didn't even exert a calorie of energy pulling down that rebound.
Robles, the point guard at this situation, trying to call for the play. They've spread out their offense, cut by Arnie Tuadles. Really knows how to get somebody up into the air, delaying his shot a little bit, and will go to the 15-foot line.
Foul
As a result
Velosa.
of the collision, just parlayed his first charity into another point for Great Taste. They now have a 21-point lead, and while he's preparing for the second, I'd like to inform you that the Sports Communicators Organization of the Philippines, or SCOOP, will be holding its induction of officers tomorrow, August 24th, 7 p.m. at the Kamayan Restaurant in West Avenue. No less than noted sportsman Leo Prieta will induct the officers, while Chris Aquino has been invited as special guest of honor. SCOOP President Al Mendoza is expected to announce the organization's plans under his term.
Cabato doing some dribbling against Dong Polistico, showing that he can dribble at 6'5".
Showtime for Sonny Capatu, huh? All right, here's Alan. Another three-point shot. Yes, sir.
All he needed to do
3
was
points.
go around the pick of Nori Robles up into the air, the easy 3 points. There's a foul given up by Robles. That'll mean 2 free throws. As Valenciano is given continuation, Noni talks, and he's given a technical.
Incidentally, that last ICBM fired by Alan Kaidik was his
Foul,
6th of
Robles.
the evening.
Technical foul, Robles.
A double block eye on Noni Robles.
Polistico.
And Polistico is being relieved by Yoyo Villamin, who was given a very brief rest on the bench by Turo Valenzuela.
First, we'll have Naning Valenciano take the technical free throw before the 2 free throws that will be given him because of the foul. Referees have been instructed, only the captain ball can talk to the referees. Noni's not the captain ball. He talked, and he got the technical right away.
That's right.
And you see, he apologized immediately to the bench and even to Naning Valenciano in that play.
The referee asked him, "Where are your bars?"
Now the 2 free throws for Naning, who's got 21 points in this ball game. Another great evening for this shooter. 22 right now, but they're behind by 23 points at this point.
Well, what's happening here is somewhat anticlimactic, unless, of course, Alaska can mount a last-ditch rally. And they have some time to do it, 5 minutes and 18. But if it goes pretty much the same way it did in the last 2 quarters, well, I guess this is just a lull before the storm. And I'm referring to the main game tonight, featuring the San Miguel Beermen against the Pure Foods Hot Dogs in a battle for the leadership. Dennis Abatuan went right into the eye of the needle, came up with nothing.
Valenciano in the 3-point territory. Frankie goes in closer.
Another case of miscommunication on the Alaska offensive side of the floor. And we have Noni Robles, hounded in the backcourt now by Naning Valenciano. All right, he's got to get it past that 10-second line in a hurry.
Did it with 2 seconds to spare.
Juanles against Ricky Velosa. Kaidik firing on a screen by Arnie. Way offline this time. Outlet to Naning Valenciano. Ponke Lulor is going to have a piece of cake.
I think what Kaidik is trying to do is trying to get a possible record for himself from the 3-point territory. He's got 6, I think, in this ball game. No?
That's right.
Record for Filipinos, I think, is 8. No?
Shared by Sonny Jaworsky, Ricardo Brown, and
Al Solis.
Al Solis. Look at Ricky Velosa fighting up the pick attempted there by Dennis Abatuan. And Dennis Abatuan meekly complied, but it didn't prevent
Sonny Capatu
from turning in another 2 points, giving Great Taste another 22-point markup. Yoyo Villamin taking matters into his own hands, and things just can't seem to fall into place for Yoyo tonight. He hasn't scored a basket since his 15th marker, and that was early in the 3rd period.
3-point shot again by Kaidik.
Kept alive by Sonny Capatu.
An open court situation now for Great Taste. They spread out the offense. Hold on to the ball in the middle.
Dr. J, mathematically speaking, Alaska has a big chance to catch up. Here's another three-point bomb. It misfired, but he's going to go to the line and result of a foul by
Foul,
Alulor.
Alulor.
Well, as I was saying earlier, somehow Alaska just can't seem to get its act together. And even if they are still mathematically within striking distance, I seriously doubt if they can prevent a sleepwalk of a victory here by the Great Taste Instant Milk Masters.
I don't think at this point that they can really come back because, Joe, you can see that Great Taste, if ever Alaska should want a big rally, they would call a timeout. They're only 3 minutes and 13 seconds. And they would really try to keep on using the clock every time, even not throwing up a shot, no? And hold on to the ball for 25 seconds.
That's right. As it is, they don't feel threatened at all. Three-point shot by Frankie Lim. Battle for the rebound. It goes to Great Taste.
At this point, they're very, very comfortable, you know. They're attacking, actually. They're using the clock and then attacking. Trying to catch the defense of Alaska napping.
Right. And a few seconds back, you saw the grim faces of the Brain Trust of Alaska, which tell the entire story of this ball game. A big come down for the Alaska Milkmen, fresh from their slaughter victory over the Añejos only 2 nights ago. Ball stays in the territory of Great Taste.
Good defense there by Ricky Rolosa. We have another timeout. We'll be back.
Timeout, Great Taste Instant Milk.
Action continues to bristle here with the Ultra, notwithstanding the lopsided nature of the scoreboard right now, which reads 125 for a Great Taste
Foul,
and 102 for Alaska, fouled by Arnie Twadless with only 2:34 in the balance for this ball game.
Valenciano going to the 15-foot line. There we had bench scoring in favor of Great Taste, 52-39. Atoyko pumped a lot of points in the third quarter together in connivance with Alan Kaidik
That's right.
to really put their team on top.
You know, Dr. J, we have close to a full house again, and Añejo is not even playing, which destroys the myth that it's only the Añejo Rum Masters who can draw the crowd here at the Ultra. And the All-Filipino Conference has never really had it so good. I was having a conversation with the PBA Executive Director, Jun Bernardino, only a couple of days back, and he gave me some very, very eye-popping stats. The record for an All-Filipino was 4.5 million pesos. And that was played over 46 games, and that was back in 1984. The All-Filipino 1988 edition has already reached 3.7 million, and we're still a long ways away from the championship showdown.
That's right, partner. We have to really thank the crowd. I think they've also liked the games. Only the last 2 games that was played 2 nights ago, and this one is really a blown out, but most of the games have been very tight.
Last 2 minutes. Last 2 minutes.
Yoyo Villamin was reduced to a scavenging role a few seconds back, 128 to 105. It will hardly affect the outcome of this ball game as Alan comes through with his 7th and is just 1 shy of the record shared by Ricardo Brown, Sonny Jaworski, and Al Solis.
You know, I think the teammates are really going to him. They're really giving him the opportunity to have a record. Another timeout by Great Taste. And they're probably going to talk about that to give it to him.
Only 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining in this basketball game, and the outcome of this affair has been a foregone conclusion ever since the start of the 4th quarter. But a very interesting sidelight here still has to be settled. A 3-point shot by Yoyo Villamin. Oh, he also packs that in his arsenal, huh?
Well, you know, earlier Seb joked me about that, you know, between a 3-point shootout between Mamaril, let's say, and the big guys and Yoyo Villamin. And he asked me, and I said, Yoyo is a pretty good 3-point shooter. I see him in practice when he used to play for my team. You can see Alaska double teaming Alan Kaidik. They don't want to get him the 3-point shot. There was a good pick there by Robles.
He fails. There is a Batuan comes through with a follow-up. It's 133 to 108. You know, it looks like the Alaska Milkmen will want to have a little consolation in the face of the very dismal horizon here by trying to prevent Alan Kaidik from erecting a new record for 3-point shots. There's another 3-point attempt. Oh, won't go. Kept alive.
Either erecting a new record or tying it. He tries again and he ties it.
Okay.
3 points.
4 guys now share the record of 8 3-point shots in a single ball game. And if Alan can get one off, then he will be the solo record holder.
You can see that everybody's helping out. I think that's the reason why Baby Dalupang called his 3rd timeout. He instructed his players, let's give it to Alan for the great game he has played, the great contribution he has. He's free double screen for a 3-point shot, and he has the record.
3 points.
Alan Kaidik now owns the record for the most 3-point bombs exploded in a single ball game eclipsing a record held jointly by 3 guys.
There he is again. On his
I thought it had a good path. 139 to 110, 27 seconds to go. Here is a clean basket here for Policio. A gimme basket, actually. And we have a timeout.
Timeout, Great Taste
Looks
Instant
like
Milk.
they want to.
You know, they're really up against the wall, but they're still fighting.
Okay, here's Allen. He moves to the 2-point zone. Dennis Abatuan with a finger roll.
Well, he already has the record, so like you said, it might take quite a while to beat. But there are a lot of players capable of doing that.
Well, what with guys like, Al Solis, of course, is a perennial
Valenciano.
contender. Nadine Valenciano is himself very capable of breaking that. Kaidik goes for his 10th triple. Rejected. Tuantes with a hook shot.
Yoy Villamin just really on top of him in that play.
Sorry about that, partner, says Yoyoy. But if you're going to have 10 triples, you better do it.
Somewhere
Honestly. Yes. Okay. So, the final tally, 143 for Great Taste, 114 for Alaska. And
So guys, panalo po kami sa game na to, 143 to 114. And I was able to surpass the PBA record for most 3-point shot made in a game by Coach Robert Jaworsky, Ricky Brown, and Al Solis na 8 3-point shot in one game. I made 9 3-point shot dito and then re-establish it noong 1989 when I made 15 at saka noong 1991 naman when I made 17. So very memorable din po sa akin tong game na to dahil dito po nag-umpisa yung paggawa ko ng record sa 3 points sa PBA. And lastly, ito pong game na to talagang milk war. Milk Master versus the Milkmen. And yun po, bragging rights namin, nanalo po kami dito sa game na to. So maraming salamat. I hope nag-enjoy kayo and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Maraming salamat po.